We're snorting cap rates and shooting up cash flow here at Deal Junkies.
Welcome back. Oh, that was too loud. Welcome back to Deal Junkies. I'm Dane McKinney. I'm here with Trevor Howard, Mike Nuss, and we have our very good friend back for the second time, right?
Second time, yes.
Matt Cox. He did his intro episode probably 100 episodes ago now. It's been a little over a year since we last had you on. You've bought a couple deals since then. You've sold a couple deals since then.
A couple deals burned down since then.
That's true. That's true. Who's to say how that fire started?
we won't get into that. No, we'll get deep into that, actually.
It was by
it'll be
some
good.
dude from Salem burn it down and then blame the world.
Yeah, Matt was in New York for that, so he has a very good alibi for that one. No, we'll talk about a bunch of deals, though. We already have the intro, and so let's get right into it. How about that? So what's the first deal like that you bought since the last time you were on?
Yeah, so I was on here, I think it was over the holidays in 2024. So the first deal I bought after that was a basically two houses on two lots. Bought it in Northeast Salem. In fact, I just went by there. That's the one Dane mentioned. One of the houses burned down. I literally just went by before this to check out that project, but I bought it. What do we pay for it? We overpaid a little bit, but we bought it on a 10-year seller carry with, I think, less like 6 or 7% down on a 4% rate.
That's so sick.
Yeah,
The overpayment was for arson liability protection.
So how long before it burnt down? What happened?
Okay, so we bought it, closed on it, I think literally the first day of 2025. Like January 1st was a holiday. I think we closed on it January 2nd. Got renters in there, cash flowing like crazy. It's the monthly PITI is like $2,550. We rented the big house, which is like 4 bedrooms with kind of a fifth, for $2,550. We covered with that. And then the back house, which is like a really small 3-bedroom, we rented for $1,900. And actually, we had to turn over some tenants in there. The current ones were like, there was only 2 guys in there, and they were like they were on 2 separate leases, like by the room, paying $600 each. So we turned them over, got a new tenant in, paid $1,800, and smooth sailing.
Was that an on-market deal? Or
Yes, it was. It was on market,
Yeah.
and they couldn't sell it. And then I think you guys, when you were doing Vesta, still chatted with the gentleman who owned it. And he was happy because he basically replaced his rents with just passive income from being the lender on the seller carry. And so we filled it.
Well, that's sick. Good job, Dane.
Yeah,
That was Sabrina.
Yeah,
I think I talked to the guy too, but then I think Sabrina structured it and wrote up all the paperwork.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy, which we can get into that if you want. I can tell you a little bit. We'll get to the fire part, but anyway, everything's going well, and then I'm out. Last August, I'm out to dinner with my fiance and then her brother and her brother's girlfriend, and we get out of dinner, and I have a missed call from the Salem Fire Department, and I'm just like, shit, like this is, there's no
They're not just checking in.
there's no result here that's going to be a positive for me from this missed call. And the thing had caught on fire. The guy who was renting it left his grill running and just took off for Detroit Lake. He was like on a, headed to the lake, and
Those fishermen, dude, they just fuck shit up.
they just
He was slow cooking some steaks.
He's smoking.
He was going to come back after the 3-day weekend for the beef fire steaks after maybe some brisket. Never know.
Yeah.
But that thing caught on fire, and it's been that's 7 months ago. And we've been through this I've learned so much about how insurance works. And insurance claims on firework, and hired an insurance adjuster and all that kind of stuff. But we're finally working on it now. We got some of the guy who did the seller carry on it. So when you get your insurance settlement, they make it out to you and the lender. Mm-hmm. And I'll be careful about
You mean to that guy in the lender?
He is the lender. It's a seller carry.
When you said you mean you
Yeah.
and him.
Yes,
Yeah.
the check is made out to me and the guy who sold it to me, who has a seller
he's
carry.
insured.
Additional insured.
Yeah, so you can't get any of the money until he signs it too. So it's not like when you give it to Penny Mac or whatever, and they just go, "Okay, here, go fix the thing." Like,
Yeah.
And so it was a whole. I don't know how much we want to get into my experience with that. Let's just say he's been and continues to be a difficult individual to get to collaborate on that. But we did sign a contract, and I had to pay down some of the mortgage balance on it with the settlement. And
Really?
yeah, I had to.
So weird.
Yeah, I mean,
To make it, that's so weird.
to get him to agree to it, he just wouldn't.
Did your contract originally give you any POA or anything on any of that? Like, did you go back through? Sorry, my voice is also really messed
He's
up
asking
right
if you got power of attorney in the
Yeah.
event of something like that happening, but you wouldn't have put that in there.
A lot of time you do. But
No, I should have, and it's a good lesson when you're doing these like seller carry contracts. Put that in there that if there's a claim, like
it goes to you.
Yeah, sign it, no questions asked. There's no
Yeah.
negotiations here because this was a 6-month negotiation before we got a single dollar released.
What was he negotiating with you?
He just it pisses the idea that I might leave with some money in my pocket after doing all the repairs pisses him off. He's a grumpy old man. I don't know how else to put it. And he
Comes from a generation of you got to work.
Yeah,
for it. You
gotta stick it to this guy. So I paid the mortgage down by $30,000, and then the money gets released in tiers. I did the $40,000 got released. I do the roof. Then we just got the second amount released, and then once we spend all that, we get the third one released. Or at least, he still has to sign the thing until Sandy M escrow to release it. But it's been an absolute nightmare, and I have some not nice things to say about
Was
this
it
guy,
the small
but-
house or the big house that got burnt down?
The small house, thankfully.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then are you getting, are they paying for everything? Are you, other than the $30,000 you had to pay down on the mortgage, are you made whole on everything, lost rent, all that?
Yeah, they got me rent. State Farm, I think that's the insurer. They've been really good about it. My adjuster who I hired has been awesome as well. But yeah, I'm made whole on it. It's just been an absolute nightmare.
Couldn't you have, isn't the alternative for that guy, you say, okay, take back your burned property and I'm also not signing this check?
Yes, that came up. In fact, he made one offer that he was like, he was going to give me some minimal amount of money and be like, and ask me to sign the property back to him. Like literally less than what I was into the property. I was going to just lose money and give him a property, which back to the beginning, this is an awesome property. I want to hold. I've got great debt on it for 10 years. So he offered that. It's a guy who doesn't have a whole lot going on and becomes obsessed with this thing and
Control.
Yeah, control.
And
exactly.
this was just a full-on seller carry?
Yeah, just a first
don't
position
even-
seller carry.
Did I look at this deal ever?
No.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I think we talked about it a little bit, and Sabrina brokered it, but
I'm trying to imagine what it is, but I don't know what it is.
yeah, it's a big house in the front and then a smaller house in the back.
Did you do another one that had two houses on it too? Were these blue?
No. It's over on 13th Street. You might have been there. I went and saw it. And then we went and shot a bunch of content that day.
Okay, I know what it is. Yeah. I know what you're talking about now. I remember. Yeah, that is a sick deal. Okay.
Even after dealing with this control freak.
That's so funny. So how much is going to go into repairs on it then?
I don't want to say too much because we're still in progress on this
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, we're going to have to spend, I'm going to be made whole, but we maybe will leave with a little money afterward.
Isn't insurance really cool that you got to use it for all the times you've paid for it? And you're like, oh, wow.
Oh, no,
it
we love
works.
insurance claims. Like, we pay enough insurance that when you actually have to file a claim, other than the BS of going through the process, it's vindicating to actually get a check from an insurance company.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
Yeah, pay hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years. And I've learned so much through this, actually. There's have you guys ever done like a 1033 exchange or know what that is?
Oh, I've heard of this.
There's like a whole strategy to it that people use.
It's it's in these events, right? If you have explain it.
Yeah, so you can basically, people know what a 1031 exchange is. You sell a property and roll the funds into the next deal. And it's kind of like that, except you do it with insurance money. And so what you can do is you can just say you get just use round numbers. Say you need $100,000 to repair your place, but they cut you a check for $200,000. You can basically, I think it's any time in the next 2 years, you can roll that into the next deal tax free. And then what a lot of people will do is they'll actually, you could even in that scenario, say you have $100,000, you could go, or let's say you have a little bit, if it's a big apartment complex, maybe you have an extra $400,000. All of a sudden you could roll that into 4 different deals because you're leveraging them. And there's like all kinds of strategies to it. But I had no idea it existed until I went through this thing and talked to the adjuster.
Yeah, those wealth juice guys that came on, we're talking about.
Yeah, I had heard about that.
But
then the other part is working with the contractors, because the way the insurance companies work, and then there's the depreciation, and they bake into this like it's your depreciation you're paying, and so they're going to pay you this, but then they're going to discount it for this. The first time I went through a claim like this, they burnt down the porch. It was like a $13,000 fix, and the insurance company is trying to do their smoke and mirrors to like get an amount, and then there's an approved contractor, and I just worked with the insurance company. I said, forget that, just cut me the freaking check. I'm going to work with the contractor myself and I'll pay it. I don't want to do this daisy chain of BS. And then I finally get the final invoice from the contractor, and it has a stupid depreciation. Here's your cost. Like, we had a contract with them. Final invoice is then the cost, and then they wanted to charge us more because of the depreciation. So they were trying to play the smoking games mirror that they play with insurance companies to get more out of it. And the guys, so I just didn't pay anything. I just told them, like, look, this was our contract. I will send you a check for this amount. I'm not paying all this bullshit, whatever depreciation stuff you're trying to throw in here. He got so frustrated with me, and at the end of the day he said, fine. And I'm like, yeah, just adjust your invoice, make it for what it's supposed to be, and I will then pay that.
What is the depreciation thing? I've never heard of that.
It's the way that they're trying to I don't know.
Increase
like
costs.
Just get more money?
Yes.
Fake money?
Also,
it's fake money. It's paper money.
You were making fun of my voice, and I just realized your voice sounds the same exact as mine, right?
Yeah, but I actually have a reason. I was sick for a week.
I think you got me sick.
No, I haven't even been around.
He was out of town.
Yeah, I got you sick from a Zoom call in
2,000
Mexico.
miles away.
Yeah.
Okay, that's sick. So you're rebuilding that whole thing. But what deals did you do after that? Because you did some bigger size deals too.
Yeah, it's funny because like the last time I came on here, I was that whole year 2024. I was buying a deal like once a month, mostly with you guys when you were running Vesta, and then I came on and I think we kind of talked, and Gabe was here and he's like, you got to start buying some bigger deals, because I was honestly just going to keep doing the like duplex, triplex thing, and so then 2025 hit. And I started looking at larger deals. We went under contract on a few, but then I would for the listeners, I live in New York, by the way. But I invest exclusively here in Oregon. So I'd come out and I'd fly out, and then the deal, there'd be so many issues with it.
14-unit one in Portland too.
Yeah,
they give you wrong financials, and then you're like,
yeah, the one in Southwest Portland. I flew out, and it was we couldn't come to terms on it because there was more capex, the numbers weren't. So a lot of that year, I kind of felt like I was banging my head against the wall. I was like, do I actually want to? It was more fun when I was buying a deal every single month, and then. Finally, we underwrote 1 million deals, went under contract on that one, and probably one or two other ones. And then we finally closed on one just down the street here on Shemeketa Street here in Salem. That's a cool deal. So it's a 10-unit. They're cottages, and basically it was owned by by the state,
and a nonprofit,
a nonprofit through the state, or what? Yeah. And their rent roll was literally at like 35-40% markets, and part of that was because 3 units were vacant.
Do you know what's crazy on that one too? So it's owned by a nonprofit, the state, and one on their institution, and they're just breaking every management law and have no leases, and they don't know how to manage it, and it's the state. And they're like,
so funny.
We shouldn't own this because we don't know what's happening. I was like, yeah, probably not.
We can tell.
Dude, I know a guy, he's a Portland investor. All he does is buy from nonprofits. There's like this whole business model, I guess. on a national level, they're really short on money right now.
They run them into the ground,
and they're just liquidating stuff. And he's buying some of these. So I bought Shemeketa for $1 million, and he was like, "Oh yeah, we were in on that one." And I was like, "Oh, what did you? He's like, "Yeah, we offered $450,000." I was like, but he was like, "Yeah, it's like working for him on some of these deals. He'll buy in his model is he'll buy them and then he converts them to condos and then he sells them off."
Wow.
But he's just I don't know.
Like cottages specifically. He looks
not even just cottages. Like he'll buy apartments in Portland, a lot on the east side, not the west side. But he's doing it like crazy to the point where he's almost setting the market. He's doing so many of these, like he's setting comps.
Yeah, he's buying a lot of the Reach portfolio, or he bought a lot of the Reach portfolio.
Yeah, John. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, yeah.
I don't know John, but I know of John.
Him, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we bought one. We've bought a piece of some of their portfolio, and then he bought a bigger, like just a big transaction of a bunch of properties, and so he's flipping one next to one of our cottage projects right now.
Yeah. So, so this Shemeketa deal, 10 units. They were at like $4,400 on the rent roll, and so people didn't want to touch it. And it's, in Oregon, you have to you can't just go to market rents, and so a lot of people duck from that for obvious reasons. So we bought it, negotiated. We ended up paying just over $1 million. I think we got a little credit at closing. Went into bridge debt on it, and basically served everybody with QLRs day one.
Did you have to do bridge debt to finance it, basically? Because you'd have to go such low leverage with a stabilized loan product.
Yeah, I was going to have to, because I raised money on that. Like I brought in outside capital, and it was just, I was going to have to raise. So
you would have had to raise $800,000.
It was. I literally think the bank was going to give us $450,000 or something.
That's why he offered $450,000.
Yeah. He's like, I need perm debt right off day one. So we gave everybody QLRs.
So you do 75% loan to value on that with the bridge debt?
We got 80%. 80% of our purchase price. Oh. Yeah.
Was that like a Renovo type lender or something like that?
It's a SPREO.
Okay.
They gave us 80% of the purchase price, a year of prepaid interest. Okay. And then a construction line too.
Oh,
so the whole thing was, other than I raised
like 200.
I raised like a little over 3.
Oh, to do some more repairs.
Yeah, some repairs, and then we ended up paying everybody cash for keys. We'll do the QLR, and we're just like, hey, if you guys will just leave, we'll give you.
Oh, let's speak to
give
that
you some
too.
money.
What rate did they give you though on that loan?
That 9.75, I think. Oh, yeah. So
an 18-month term or a 2-year term?
1 year.
I was gonna say probably 12 with
balls.
2 extensions.
Yeah, there's an option to extend. I think we have to pay a point to extend it. But
for some reason I guess you're clearly getting longer than that. But on that size, I feel like on bridge debt, we don't get quoted longer than a year very often.
That's a low loan amount.
Yeah, like if you're $5 million or more, they're not going to give you 1 year on something like that. Yeah. But at that size, they're like, you can do it quick. It's like a house.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Well, it was funny because they didn't understand our business plan, because to get that loan, we had to have an as-is appraisal and then an after ARV appraisal, and they didn't get it. So our ARV appraisal missed badly, and I had to like go back and talk to the guy, because they underwrote it, which is, there's a lesson there. Like give them your business plan up front. Don't wait for them to appraise it and then try to fix it. Yeah. But then because the occupied units were rented for like $600, and so they were just like, well, the
$660.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, the 9.5%. You get a max increase. We had to like explain the whole business, and to their credit, like the guy wasn't. He wasn't like egotistical about it. He listened and was like, "Oh, okay, that makes," and he did adjust it for us.
You have actual logic.
What'd you get appraised as value at that point then on it after repair?
The after repair was 1.55, I think. Yeah. And I think we're actually the funniest thing about this, when he originally did the appraisal before he fixed it, he threw a 4.5 cap on it. in Salem because I think
he finished it with the 6 cap.
Yeah, and then once he fixed it, he decided it was a 6 cap.
To try to hit pricing.
Yeah,
dude, we had that happen.
Like, keep that 4.5 cap.
It'd be worth like $3 million.
That just happened on another appraisal of ours somewhere that I won't speak to.
And then ask the appraiser, how do you explain that? What's the logic behind
Well,
this?
that was the thing is on the front end, this property had appraised with these were the assumed rents. And based on that, this was my assumed value per square foot. And so I have to give the cap rate based on and so my cap rate is 5.5. And then at the end of the project,
higher rents,
way higher rents. And so the cap rate in a better market went up by 1%. And it was like,
how do you figure that?
Interest rates are lower than when you said that. And they're so now it's
because appraisers don't understand how to actually
they're
own
just
and
getting to a
invest in the
number.
building. They're
They're
getting
just
to
getting
a
to a number.
It's back. Everything is backed in. I'm getting a refinance right now in a single family, and it's literally the easiest appraisal that can be done. It's in Salem, like from a cookie cutter 1940s, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, has a converted garage. Most of the houses on the street are the exact same way. Met the appraiser there to let him in, made sure he had access. I didn't go in. I just let him in. And I told him, like, there's like, this will be the easiest job forever. You have 3 sales on the street, all 3 bedrooms with a converted garage and a half bath in the garage. He uses none of those comps. He appraises it 50 grand higher than it's worth.
Nice.
That's a good problem. I just had one go 40 grand under on a sale I was doing.
But what's the logic?
Oh, who cares?
I mean,
it's just what they're feeling.
If you have some fucking integrity, you should care, right? Like, and his comp number 1 was 0.96 miles away, and you've got 3 sales on the street. They literally look exactly the same, and for some reason, 1 mile away.
Don't overthink it. Just accept the higher
I can't
value.
not overthink it because I understand their assignment requirements.
Well, you were an appraiser. Yeah.
That's why I don't respect any appraisers, and I don't know that I ever can.
Mike has dissed so many people since I walked in today.
Dude, I don't diss people.
Many of them off air.
I just speak the truth, man.
That's one way to say it. Yeah.
All right. The lens at which you look at it.
So this tent unit, you
3 cap that you bought.
3 cap,
Sweet deal.
This that's Lower Manhattan.
This
that I purchased.
This was on market too, right?
Yeah, it was on market. Sat for a bit. We offered right when it went on, and then they tested the market.
They had it listed like 1.4 or something to start.
Yeah, and they had a buyer, and they kind of kept tire kicking with them, and then they were finally just like, okay, we're going with you. Like, we know you're gonna buy this. So yeah, we got it. We got that appraisal, and it appraised at 155 ARV, but they were basing that on $1,125 rents, and we've actually achieved about $1,200 on rents, and then we got parking money too. So it's gonna appraise. I mean, knock on wood, who knows if they'll throw a 4 cap or a 12 cap
dude,
on it.
You got more rent, the cap rate goes up.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Have like a 1.65, 1.7 value or something.
Your risk is lower, so the cap rate goes up. I mean, that's logic.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, based on, I mean, like at a 6 cap, I think it'll be worth a little over 1.7. Are you guys seeing it? Like, what are you seeing in like that kind of downtown area? Cap rates, 6.5.
Yeah, I mean everywhere's 6.5. What's weird right now is that nothing is trading at a different cap rate.
Yep.
In my humble, like I really don't see anything trading.
That's the capitulation window.
That's what I've been saying lately as well.
Explain
Hey Siri,
that.
what is capitulation?
Yeah, I was going to say.
BATNA.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with BATNA?
You said that like 100 episodes ago, and I looked it up at the time just to clarify. But what does it mean for the listener?
Capitulation window or BATNA?
BATNA's
Capitulation.
best alternative to
negotiated
I learned this in business law. Yeah.
So BATNA is like the range of agreement, right? So if you're 2 parties negotiating and they both have a range of what they'll agree to, where that overlaps, that's BATNA. And so your capitulation window is just that. Where is it that sellers and buyers are meeting and are willing to transact at? And then what we're probably going to see is, because now the 5 years up 50 bips almost, the 2 years up 50 bips, that 6 to 6.5 is probably now 6.25 to 6.75, if not more.
Yeah. Yeah, probably so.
Is capitulation window an actual term?
I think it's made up, but I like it.
I mean,
it makes sense.
I feel like I made it up.
Yeah, I mean, if a phrase makes sense, it's a phrase.
Yeah.
So how did you?
Doesn't matter where it came from.
I'm trying to talk about deals here, guys.
No, dude, we want to talk about making up words.
Yeah, cap rates. Well, a huge deal traded at a 6 cap last week.
Hold on.
Congrats.
How did you do your cash for keys on it and like get them to actually? What is that process? Because a lot of people wonder about that.
Boo.
Yeah, I mean, for anyone that hasn't done it, it's to state the obvious. It's far superior to an eviction for both you and the tenant. But yeah, I mean, you know how long an eviction takes. So yeah, we file the eviction. You got to do the kind of warning shot across the bow, or that they're not going to take it serious. Then once they have that, we mail them a letter and say, if you're out by this date, we'll give you, I think it was $2,000 each.
Oh, sick.
And I think we had 7 tenants. Six of them agreed, no problem. One was a little tough, but she ended up agreeing too. Like we started the eviction and she started getting paperwork in the mail, and then she was fine. Like, okay, like I want the money, and we did it. It was pretty easy. We had everybody out of there, within 2 months, I think.
Yeah.
And then if people, we'd give them a date, and then if they're like, hey, actually, can I do 2 weeks later or whatever? We'd be like, yeah, of course. Like whatever you guys need, if you'll work with us.
Yeah. For those people listening, what was the condition of the units when you took them over? Were they in good shape?
There was one that was, and this one was, we knew it was there was one that's a total gut remodel. Most of the other ones, like we painted, we did, we replaced some appliances, floors, but it wasn't, there was only one that was just like a total train wreck.
Yeah.
But they were just outdated, really. Like,
yeah. There was the one.
There's one they overturned.
That was, it's really nice. I think we got like $1,300 in rent on that one.
You're like $25 more a month. Hell yeah. 30 grand more to spend and 25 more to get.
Well, that just speaks to like how they were operating it. They like did this one like insane, like barn door styles, and this like 1-bed cottage and like granite countertops and all that stuff.
So funny. So sick.
Yeah.
For the record, for everybody listening as well, that's why they have to sell. Like, I think that when you hear that and you're like, you kicked everybody out, and like, get all it's like, yeah, we did. Somebody was going to. There's no world where it lasts forever. It's not if, it's when. And so like, that's the piece that I think people who aren't in it don't understand. Like, there's no world where, because we were talking about it before the episode started, Santa Barbara with like 5 kids in 1 bedroom, and they're all paying $1,000 a month. You can have a 5-bedroom house that's bringing in 25 grand a month. Like, that's real. And they're not stoked to live there, but that's because like the agencies that are there to make housing better have made housing substantially worse. And so like, I guess just painting a picture better on Matt, frankly, but then also us, because we're playing the same game. Like we do the same thing, but it's on projects that like 5 years from now, same thing's going to happen. Like 10 years, like it's just how long can it go before that does happen?
Nonprofit, LIHTC buildings, low income housing projects. All real estate has a physical lifespan and an economic lifespan. And in the nonprofit world or the low income housing world, there's a timeline for it. And so what we're seeing in Portland is all the long-term low housing income providers are all selling off all their old assets because they're beyond the economic and physical lifestyle or lifespan, and they're rolling the equity into new buildings. And it's the function of how the stacks work, right? So they get a developer fee that gets built into this capital stack. And at the end of the day, they're trying to run off management fees, but they have these buildings that they really can't afford to maintain long term. And then the older they get, the less they can actually afford to do it. And so it's the economic cycle runs out, and you have to reset that economic cycle. But then the problem is, especially when you now have rent control and qualifying landlord, now your buyer pool shrunk significantly. And so the only way to reset that is some ways they're doing it, like Sean is saying right now in Portland, is they're just buying it. They've got a deal right now on a project in Portland where it has a LIHTC loan and it has a City of Portland loan, and they're able to assume the loans, get 2 years of deferred payments. And the whole plan is just selling them as low income condos. And so they're buying an apartment building, condo converting them, and then selling them 3-bedroom units for $150 grand.
Wow.
But when you're buying it at 70 or 80 grand per unit on your basis. And then you're inheriting really, really good debt. But then the debt comes with these covenants, these deed restrictions. But there's a model there if you can figure it out. The problem is most people aren't going to bang their heads against the wall to figure it out.
Yeah. It's not an easy thing to figure out. I mean, also condos right now are just hard.
Yeah. So that goes into the heart of it, right? So one of the reasons Sean and Sang are doing it together is because Sean is on the board of nonprofits and is an attorney and knows how to negotiate with the state and the city, and then has this, he's also a board member of one of the neighborhood associations. And so you have this heart mechanism of, if we can deliver $150,000 3-bedroom units, you are doing something for the world. Yeah. And specifically in this location where it's a big enough asset size where now the context of that building sets the stage for the entire neighborhood. And so if you can reposition that one asset, the street behind it now becomes a completely different street, and then that ripple effect happens. But someone has to put their head and bang it against the wall to create a mechanism to work to reset the cycle.
So after you cash for keyed these people, how long did it take to renovate the units?
You're going to get banned.
Not long, because we would do them one at a time. So the second that we got, because they were kind of staggered. It's not like everybody just left on one day. So the second they got out of there, we would do it. Or if there were multiple, I would instruct my GC, Phil, like whichever one was the closest to being rentable, we would go knock that one out first. So most of the units were a matter of a few, 4 or 5 days to have them ready. Like it was not very difficult, and we found renters really quickly too.
Yeah, I would imagine desirable,
super desirable. Yeah, I mean, there's no other option for that in downtown, at least.
To have a little yard like that, and people pay so much more for that just to have the little yards. I walked a deal in Portland yesterday. Out on like 51st, and they were these little 1-bedrooms that were renting for $1,500 a unit because they were garden style like that, where you have a little yard out front. I had no idea stuff was renting for that much.
The Clinton Street project. 3 buildings.
4 buildings. 4 buildings, 5 units. No.
Yeah. 20 unit. Yeah.
4 buildings. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So how much did you spend total on your renovation on this thing?
About 140.
Okay.
So not a ton. Yeah.
Did you over raise for it then? Did you find out?
Yeah, I did. I over raised for it, and we built in for future capex and stuff like that. But yeah, about 140.
Have you done your refi yet?
We're in the midst of it right now.
Okay. How much time's left on your loan until you have to pay that extension? Are you going to beat the clock on it?
It goes till October 1st, so we have some time.
Oh yeah.
The hardest part is finding a lender that will do a cash out or even a rate and term, honestly, with it, but before the seasoning period is up. Because what I want to do, I want to return money to my investors. I want to do a cash out, but I want to at least get a rate and term. And what we're seeing is they're running off loan to cost. So they'll take what I paid for it, tack on what I spent on renos. And we had one lender that was like ready to play ball on it, and they just flaked on us. So we're kind of back to the drawing. There's one lender we're talking to who might give us like a, basically they would give us some money now, and then they're building it into the loan where the second the 1 year hits, they'll kick us some more money, and they won't make us reappraise it or anything. But it's all kind of shaky right now. We're trying to find somebody.
So they want to see a T12 on it.
Are you working with credit unions?
No, they want you to season it past 12 months ownership.
Just ownership.
That's where the 12-month debt.
Exactly. But yeah, we've gone out to credit unions.
Can you line it up with that 1 year date and just close it on the same date essentially as your other one?
That's kind of what I'm thinking. But honestly, I also don't want to pay this night. Like we're lighting $4,000 on fire every month by being in this loan, and 6 more months. What is it? Yeah, 6 more months of it. It's a significant waste of money.
Okay. And then when you raised, because this was more of like a joint venture partnership you did with people. So you raised 300. How many people did you have to bring together to do that?
Just myself and 3 others. Yeah. Pretty small.
Because you had been partnering and raising other money for deals prior, right? But was this the largest raise you had done to that point?
Yeah, I mean, this is the first one I would call a true raise. Like I have like one buddy I've partnered with on deals, but it was really just like us part.
Just doing a deal.
Not
together.
where I'm like talking to.
You're not selling them.
Yeah, exactly. Or like I've done deals with my brother or stuff. That was the first real raise that I've done.
How'd the raise go, and how'd you find the people?
It was easy because it's such a small raise. I had my network of people. I'm getting it. Some of these deals, like the one I just walked, like we're getting into larger and larger raises where I'm having to actually have a network of people that are looking to put money into deals. But that first one was frankly really easy, and I put money in it too, so I took out a chunk of it. So
yeah, the first 500 to $1 million in I almost like even each year. It kind of like resets on the year, but the first 500 to $1 million is like, okay, that's there. And then you get to like over $1 million. It's like, all right, I don't know as many people anymore. Like I'm trying to find the rest of my people.
Yeah. Are you guys getting people now? Cause you've been doing this for a bit. Are you getting people where you're returning money to them and they're giving it back to you? Like that's the ideal, but that's where you want to be.
So we're like, our biggest return will be in, probably 8 months from now, 7 months from now, where we'll be able to just like everybody that's in that deal will more than likely just recycle capital with us. And ideally we're doing a cash out refi. We're having the conversations with all of them right now about that, but we've had
because that's like $4 million, and then you can just go repeat the deal, and then they're thrilled because it went well, and now you got all your money back and you retain ownership. So like those are the coolest ones. And we've done another one of those too, where we did full cycle.
And then Mark's had a couple where he's done it, but we've only had one full cycle refi. And we're selling one right now too. But
I've got a lot of people that want to give me money right now. The battle right now. I mean, we did a deal, and we can talk about that. We closed on one in January, but just like finding our next deal has been, it's the capitulation window. The capitulation window. There's still a gap there. So we're underwriting so many deals, making so many offers before we finally go under contract on. And there's not a lot of distress either, at least in the space that I'm buying, which is like the 2 to 4 million. I don't know about the larger stuff, but there's just a lot of sellers that are on market that are, pegged to 2021 prices, and they're just like, nah, I think I'm good. And I'm like, all right, you're cash flowing. Like
we're gonna have a lot of distress this year.
You think?
The distress is in the newer units and the big value adds.
We're gonna have everybody got 5 years.
Do you remember what we said? It was survive through 25 and then persist in 26, and then I was like recession in 27, depression in 27. Depression in that's what it was. Depression in 27.
Because everybody's expiring. Everybody who refied in 2021 is. I mean, we have a deal that we're looking at right now that will not be named, but that a year and a half ago we looked at, and I knew their debt expires at the end of 26. And a year and a half ago, I said, we'll buy that deal in July of 26. That's when we're going to buy that deal.
Is it in Oregon?
It's in Oregon, yeah.
Yeah, because there is less in Oregon because we didn't get, like the Sun Belt right now is just imploding.
Oh, yeah.
Because we didn't have that huge bubble that they had. So, you know, in order for everybody to blow up, you have to inflate.
Yeah.
And so we don't have that because banks didn't lend us as much money because our values and rents didn't go up
because we didn't have as much room for cap rate compression.
Yeah.
So like you go to the Sun Belt and these other markets where they're going, from a 9 cap to a 6 cap, and we're like, well, we're already at 6. We can only go down to 5, right? Or new construction down to the 4s. And so we just had safety because of less compression.
I mean, like Arizona was pretty tight though. Austin was tight on cap rates. Like they were a little higher. The biggest thing in Austin though is that rents are down like 25%.
Because the actual demographics.
Because they built the shit out of it.
Yeah, everybody's like, this seems like an Austin place to build.
But part of it also is California. It's other economical income streams moving into your market and then not wanting to stay long term.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
But it's everybody. The easiest story to tell people if you want to raise capital and do deals is that population is growing. And so people they only look at the demand side of the curve, and population growth only matters as long as it outpaces supply growth. And most of the Sun Belt, you can just I mean, you go down, you're from Texas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you can go down there and just plop a subdivision anywhere you
want. It's so funny.
The moat here is that it's a freaking nightmare to try to build. Like it's hard. Yeah. You have to jump through hoops, and that's why supply, that's why these markets like Oregon and Washington are historically, they're not boom bust markets like in Arizona or a Texas or a Florida, of course, too.
You drive in Texas now, especially that like we develop and like, or at least like think about developing and just like think about real estate generally. Like if you're buying apartments even, and you're looking at like why you would like one complex versus the other because of where like the stores are located. And then you look at like, you'll drive down a street in Texas or you'll drive around like a city, like 200,000 people, like Lubbock or Amarillo, like kind of small, medium-sized towns. And you're like, which one of these is downtown? Like, why are there 17 downtowns? Like, and then it's like, who decided you could put a subdivision there? Like, that's where we put subdivisions. It's so, one time we went to a steakhouse in Texas one time. It was a super nice steakhouse. And I kid you not, we drove probably 2 miles past any like retail, anything, turned into a subdivision. We're driving through like a subdivision of probably 500 homes. And then just in the middle of the subdivision, there was a steakhouse. I kid you not. It was like, well, this is a nice subdivision and they'll eat steak. Yeah. So we put a steakhouse here. Dude, like, because you just can. Like,
kind of a story around that. I went right when I started buying real estate. It was 2020, right when COVID hit, and I was listening to Bigger Pockets just like nonstop, like every episode. And I listened to an episode about Arizona, about Phoenix. Yeah. Like Phoenix is a good market. And I flew down there. I was buying single family homes. I flew down to Phoenix and met this realtor down there, and he just drove me around the whole city. And it was exactly, and it, like, oh, here's a house. Like there's 20 of the same house all next to each other, and then there's nothing around it. And then you drive on the highway again. Like it's just, it's like
it's so hodgepodge.
It's like Truman Show building housing. Like you go to all these, and I left that, and I was like, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I know I'm never buying anything down here. There's nothing unique or special about this real estate.
Yeah, it's just high levels of income. That's the only thing that's special and unique about it.
Yeah, and people want to be there, and that's like awesome. And there's periods where it's going to do really well, but it's going to track so hard with upturns and downturns because it's easy to move quickly. Yes. And so when the market goes up, it shoots up, and then it's easy to
like self-storage.
It's
in
easy
housing.
to move. Yeah, serious, but. No, but then thinking about Oregon to the like population / supply piece of it, it's like Oregon's actually not growing that much. Like we did finally grow last year. Portland grew by like 1,000 people last year or something, just from migration in. No, I know. I'm agreeing. I'm positive about it because I love Oregon. Like I want it to grow. But Salem, Oregon was the only city in the state that grew in both population due to babies and migration. So there's some cities that like grew with just babies, and then there's some
that makes sense.
But like as far as net in and out, like Salem had a net in migration and it had more
naturalization.
Babies. Yeah, and part of that's just because we have such like a diverse employer base. It's not just like one thing. Yeah, and so that
you
helps a lot.
You don't have an urban core, so you're not drawing the familyless mindset.
Yeah. No, it. Yeah, people want to have families here. It's like this is a suburban like people just want to live in a little subdivision here.
But it's coming around. When you have restrictions around development, urban planning and planning in general are significantly magnified in the value that brings. And then the reverse is true as well, which is if you don't have any restriction, why care about your planning? Throw a steakhouse in the middle of a subdivision because you can. Yeah. And so the urban planning aspect, then you take a level of thoughtful design and differentiation. That's why it's so beautiful to have these types of communities.
When you're looking at all your deals, are you underwriting to a specific investor return or a project level return or cash back period? Like, how are you thinking about these?
Yeah, I'm generally underwriting to a 5-year business plan. Usually we want to be able to give investors 2.2 times their money within 5 years. We're buying,
assuming like a sale at that point.
Yeah, assuming a sale. Bill obviously want to have the option to refi as well. But yeah, we're buying stuff like that Chemeketa deal. Most of the stuff we're looking at, we're not looking at deals where you need to go into bridge debt just because you don't need to with where the market is right now. So like the 19 unit we just bought in Portland, that's like we're making 1 million offers on deals exactly like that, where it's just day one cash flow. We can improve the operations. We can fix the rent roll. And it's like very little value add by way of construction or renovation.
There's no competition.
There's no buyers. Yeah.
My partner Caleb just pulled a CoStar report, and you have like 50% of the acquisitions are sitting in this room right now.
Dude, I closed on that. I posted it on LinkedIn, and my phone started blowing up the next week because
Marcus and Millichap, and
nobody's buying Portland right now.
We were talking about that last night because we have because I'm on the Secretary of State for all of our, and so I just get phone calls all the time because I want to, or it might be Trevor in the future. It was just me for so long, and so I'm on all, and I still form our LLCs. And so I just get all the phone calls. It's like, hey, I saw you guys are actually doing deals right now. I was just wondering.
Broker in their vehicle is calling you right now. Yeah.
My name is 6 months out of college, and I was calling because I saw that you owned apartments, and I wanted to see if you were trying to maybe buy or sell more apartments. I said, that is a great question. I am. It's perfect. And then it's like you get everything sent to you because you're the only one transacting. Like, here's exactly what I want. Please, please feel free to call. I'll save your phone number. 6 months out of college.
Known entities.
The tables have turned from 2021.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Yeah, you couldn't even get a call. You couldn't even get a call back. Now Greg Frick will go meet you at a property.
I've met every time I'm in town.
You gotta stop naming. Greg's awesome.
Greg, but he would never meet me at a property. Now he will.
Greg's the man. Yeah.
Greg's a busy guy.
Shout out to Greg. Yeah. I've met him a couple times at property.
I love Greg. He's
really cool guy. Yeah.
I'm not dissing people.
No, it's just hilarious. I'm laughing about it. I'm laughing.
So what'd you buy your 19 unit for? How'd you structure it and run through it and find it?
Yeah, so that just on market. We had, like I said, we had made a bunch of offers. We were circling on this one. I think they rejected an offer from us. They tested the market a little longer, and we ended up buying it at 2.1, which it was about a 109 a door.
Yeah.
As far as the structure, boring deal, just nothing creative. I just raised the money. Raised about. What did I raise? $700,000 on that.
You got like a 65% loan or something?
We got 75 on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
you raised the repairs.
Yeah, there were a few repairs. There not a lot though. And then obviously raised some reserves as well. But yeah, just kind of a boring deal. Like just parked money there. Yeah. Day one cash flow, and it's we're looking at a lot of these in the. I don't know what you guys buy kind of across the board. You'll buy down to like 20 units up to 100, right? But in these, we like these smaller ones because it's a lot of mom and pop landlords, people that inherited it. Maybe they haven't paid much attention to their expenses. They're just kind of printing money every month.
Yeah, little to no debt doesn't matter to them. That much.
They're like whatever, and just little things like we got just getting a new insurance quote. We got $7,000 in straight to our NOI, but the second we closed on it, which is, do the math on that. What is that? It was like $150,000 of value day one. So it's just looking for little things like that where it's, the property's not distressed at all. It's a stabilized property, but there's a little room to run in rents, and there's maybe they haven't instituted rubs. So we're really just looking for stuff like that. So it's kind of low risk. And
on that, what does it rent for day one then?
Global rents are about 23 and change. So
like 1,100 a unit then or something.
Little more than that. Actually, that 23 number is baking in 5% vacancy. Yeah, but it's depending what the top floor will rent for 14 or even 1450, and then the bottom floor will be down at like 1,100.
Okay, so when you're calculating like doubling their money over 5 years, they put 700 in, so you got to make it worth 700 more over 5 year period.
At that basis though, like you don't have to do much.
Yeah, but you get amortization.
Yeah,
you get cash flow along the way. So is that
I was going to say, are you counting?
Multiple?
Yeah, that's my next question too.
Yeah, cash flow is part of it.
Yeah, and we're in a world where another made up word, capital stack ratio, right? So your capital stack ratio, how much of that ratio is going to your down payment. And right now you should be about 80% of your raise is going straight to down payment, which is straight to equity, which is straight to cash flow. And so the less of your ratio going to down payment, the more the execution of your business model, the CapEx, how you spend it, when you spend it, how efficient you are with the operations matter more and more and more and more.
Yes.
And we're at a point where you just don't have to rely on really good execution of a value add. You can just go put most of your money that you raise into a down payment, you cash flow day one.
We did our first one of those.
Yeah. We're back to fundamentals. We
It's a
actually
weird
could
one,
have
too.
buy fundamentals.
Well, because a few years ago, the only business model was to go into bridge debt, and
you had a value add.
you had to. It
Absolutely.
stuff didn't work because it was selling. Stuff was selling at 3 caps. So unless you wanted to go 50% loan to value, there was no business model.
There's still some unicorns out there, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe. I haven't
value
counted
add
it.
unicorn?
There are.
There will always be value add unicorns.
It's just you don't know where, it's hard. How do you
Yeah.
All I
But
know
that
is there's
should
no
be-
strategy to hunting a unicorn. That's all I know. When they show up, they show up. You just better be ready to shoot.
Yeah.
That's
Correct.
all. That's all.
No,
I'm
you
saying.
exist for long enough, and those unicorns just land in your
unicorns
backyard.
find you. You don't find them.
But those also should be just supplemental to just having a good balance sheet with some good
Yeah.
assets, so then you can take a risk on a bigger value add play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how was that raise? Because then that was your next biggest raise that you did.
Yeah, I mean that one again was like surprising. It was surprisingly fairly easy. I don't know if you guys are, I think, pretty good at raising capital, but like using LinkedIn, honestly, I just got I post on there every single day, 9 a.m. or 6 a.m. out here every single day, and I've got more people wanting to give me money than I have deals to give them
From
which is,
LinkedIn?
like, mostly from LinkedIn. Yeah,
Are they local to Oregon or are they local to you?
There's it's a mix. Yeah, there's definitely some in Oregon. Like at the event last night, a few of those guys, they want to put money into a deal. But yeah, there's some in New York too. New York's a good place to bump into people with money, obviously, and that people that are retiring or they want to. We've got somebody right now that wants to like buy something for their niece to kind of put away. Like you run into a lot of.
Do
people.
they like the Oregon market because it's cheap compared to like stuff they see in New York too?
It's a mix. I mean, Mike knows from GoBundance how people talk about Oregon, and it's silly. So you get a mix, right?
They think we don't have cell phones out here.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
but
no, dude, that's a real thing.
But and they call it Oregon. It's all that. But you get I feel like you get a mix. There's the people like the sophisticated investor that's like they're reading about Oregon and they're like saw this thing on the news and then there's the other investor that's just they're purely investing in you as the operator. It could be in freaking Timbuktu or Kazakhstan or like they're investing in the person. And then there's the other type who's very strategic about it. And I guess the more people I talk to, the more you realize people are investing in the operator.
Oh,
I'd say
it's
like
you.
because anybody can,
especially now,
anybody can bullshit a pro forma. Anybody can make up numbers. Like it is.
Well, yeah, you use a 5 cap rather than a 6.5 cap, and you just hit all your returns.
Dude, if okay, to that point, Google, anybody listening, Google right now, syndication 18% IRR USA. You'll get 500 results. It's like if you want to just put your money in a syndication, go for it. Like you're not raising capital from just having an 18% IRR. It's like nobody's doing that. Like I mean, that's your return. That's the return you're offering.
Right.
But it's like people like Matt. Like people like what Matt posts on. Well, I like what you post on Substack, but LinkedIn too. Yeah, I'm a follower on Substack.
Hell yeah.
But like that's like I trust you more because I read stuff like that, and like obviously we're doing the same thing. So I don't know, maybe I'll give you money in the future, but like I would because I know that like the fundamentals, like you'll make it work, you'll figure it out.
That's it. It's sales. People work with people they know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't. There's some of the larger syndicators like I've looked at deals for buddies and stuff who get hit up, buddies that don't know the first thing about real estate. Maybe they're sales guys, they work in tech or whatever. And I just I'm like, look, like there's 80 pages here. Just look at this page where the cap rate is compressing by 2 points.
Sensitivity schedule.
Yeah, you don't need to read the rest of it.
Yeah.
You don't need stay with their business model. some of these guys. There's a lot of really good syndicators too, but some of them, the whole model, it's just raising capital. They're not even running a real estate business. They're running a capital raising business.
Like Caleb said it great. We're syndicating because we choose to, not because we have to.
Yeah.
And the mindset around syndication at the 80% of the world is just, we just raise capital to go buy deals. That's backwards.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you have to I'm super careful about not just business finances, but personal finances, where you don't want to be somebody who has to do deals to because we get, it's easy for everybody to say I'm the most ethical guy ever. But when, picture
now.
Yeah, exactly. Then when the incentives shift, picture a dad with 3 kids and a mortgage coming up. Maybe 3 years ago he said, I'm only going to put my investors in good deals. Well, what do you think? And he's about to miss his mortgage payment.
You care about your kids more or your investors?
Exactly. So you want to be very careful about that stuff, because it can, it messes with your head if you people that are desperate do desperate things. So.
Matt and I don't have kids. That's why you should invest with us.
That was an ad.
Yeah. Shameless plug. Mike has kids, and he still does great deals. He still does great deals.
Mike goes into depression,
but I'd watch out for. Oh, that's hilarious. So, that's a sweet basis on that one. That's fundamentally the exact same deal that we bought in Monmouth and Independence. Actually, that was just from a basis perspective, it's the same deal.
Yeah, that was a 70 unit.
Yeah. But it was $8 million. It was just and it was probably the same thing. It was just it just kind of makes sense. I don't know. It's going to be really good in 10 years. I'll tell you that much. This is the bottom of what you're ever going to get a good deal at.
The market's going to crash in 5?
I heard that. I actually heard it was crashing next year.
Kiyosaki told me it's crashing tomorrow. We should all
he
go
also
to
said silver was
gold and weapons and canned goods.
I have silver.
On your deals, because you were JVing, did your investors have to sign on the debt with you?
No, I kept them under the percentage threshold.
Under 20%.
Yeah.
So you did an actual partnership, a JV, an LLC, and then you gave them membership units or less than 20% ownership?
Correct. Exactly. Yeah. It's not a true syndication on that one.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever, that's a good question. Have you ever been able to get around that if somebody wants to own more than 20% and not sign on the debt?
We're doing one right now.
You can, yeah.
Where we'll see, and it seems like it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's got to be really lender specific, I imagine.
Yeah, we've gotten a couple loans from them already, and it's a big project. And you have to.
Oh, I'm talking about a different one than you, but.
Oh, well, on that one, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But, it's just they know us really well. We qualify independent of said guy, and there's just an understanding. I don't know if it's because they're private. And so it's not
It even works the opposite. So we talked about global liquidity for a construction loan right now. And one of the partners in the deal, he doesn't own enough to sign on the debt, so not a guarantor. They won't consider their assets at all. They're the most liquid. They've got a trust, a lot of money in a trust, and we can't even use that.
So they want him to own 20% in order to sign
to be part of the underwriting stack.
So he can't own 10% and sign on the debt.
Correct.
What?
Yep. And so then we had to have them make a deposit into the LLC to then show liquidity in the LLC.
That's so weird.
To then just wire it back to him.
Yeah.
We had a guy who owns a very, very small amount of
an
construction
loan too. Not me part of it. But
well, that was on a construction loan.
Yeah. That's what you'll see people that own 0% of the deal, and they just get an AC fee day one, or not, a guarantor fee.
KP.
Yeah. So I don't know. We're running into the opposite.
That's so weird. Is it like a local
It's a Renovo loan.
That's so weird.
I know.
What?
Yeah.
That makes it even weirder.
Yes. But, when you can just move money into a bank account and solve the problem, you don't want to think too much about it.
Yeah. But then it's just an internal, we can't control this, we don't care kind of thing.
Check the box.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a black box. We don't really know. You just got to check it all.
And they all have a bunch of gray boxes inside of it.
I wish they would just show us what is in the black box, though. There's how many times do you get so far down the line? I'm like, dude, I'm not mad that you want this. I'm mad that you're telling me about it now instead of 60 days ago.
Some of the most powerful people in the world, legitimately, in my humble, are people that were credit team at whatever, like Wachovia. Like they understand the funkiest forms of, we know all the boxes that should have been and weren't checked, like, or like high level credit team, even currently at a bank. And then they go into real estate and it's like, no, this is how it works. Like, and then they can, to your point too, like when you get an appraisal back and it's like, well, that's why you this is what you have to send the appraiser first. This is what you send to the bank first. They don't understand. You're the one who understands like that. I mean, I was talking to a guy yesterday who's a wizard of getting loans, and he was breaking down like how he got his most recent on a project, and I'm not going to give any details at all other than it was like mind-blowing the levels of like between where we're at and where he is at on that. Like I understand lending, and I understand lending better than 99% of people, not in real estate, but like 99% of people, Gen Pop. And then like you guys were probably at the same level. And then I talked to this guy and it was like, oh, I don't understand how lending works at all.
Dude,
yeah.
The world is run by bankers in debt.
Yeah. Like you created a financial product to give yourself a loan from an institution that you have no part of. Like, and he was like, yeah, but it works for them.
Yeah. And then they start talking about loan swaps and mortgage swaps. And there's a whole nother level.
Oh, yeah.
There's always another level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you looking for nowadays?
I mean, really, I have brokers hit me up all the time, and that's our buy box is literally that deal we just bought. Like we're looking for Portland core and Salem. We're not really buying the burr. I mean, and I always like, obviously if it's a smoking deal, we'll buy it. But like, we're really looking at Portland core and Salem, 20, even 15 to 45 units, day one cash flow, like not a heavy lift, just stuff we can go into perm debt on day one. Like I'm a very like low risk investor right now. We're not taking a lot of big swings.
No reason to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Well, I think we got to wrap this one up. We got another one coming, right? Don't we?
Sweet. Juwan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, Matt, it was a pleasure to have you. It's always good to see you. We don't get to see Matt very much because he's out in New York, but when he makes his way back to his
like
true home.
He just looks like New York.
What does that mean?
Jacked?
It's just good posture,
in good shape,
healthy, good haircut,
happy.
Deep voice.
Yeah, you do look jacked. Good point, Mike.
Thanks, guys.
Well, pleasure to have you. Killer on all the deals. We're stoked that we could have played a small part in what you're building now. I mean, you're now just kind of doing your own thing, right? For the most part.
He's just a blogger buying real estate.
Yeah, exactly. No, in all seriousness, though, shout out to this podcast. I don't listen to any other real estate. I listen to a lot of stuff. This is the one real estate podcast. Legit. Like, I learned shit when I'm listening to this, so... I think I've legit listened to every episode. So you guys are crushing it. Keep it going. I'm gonna listen. I think I have the Matt King episode teed up next. So
it's good.
I didn't even say a word. I just watched him.
I did either.
I just watched him. It was great.
He just gave us a lecture. It was awesome. I texted him after I'm doing the ride with him. He's doing a bike ride across the country.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that was awesome, dude. Like I got so fired up.
Yeah. He texted me. He's like, dude, that was very.
I got so fired up. I was like, I'm gonna go ride a bike with that guy.
I knew you'd like him.
Anyways, well, hey, it was great to have you, Matt. Always a pleasure. If anybody wants to reach out, how would they get in touch with you?
Yeah, I'm super active on LinkedIn. It's Matthew Forrest Cox. I had to put my middle name in because there's a mortgage fraudster from Florida named Matthew Cox. That is not me. I ran into so many deals. I shouldn't say so
he's
many,
famous,
but
right?
He's very famous.
Yeah, I've listened to him on podcasts.
Yeah, he's a sociopath. But anyway, I'm Matthew Forrest Cox on pretty much everything now. So I'm active on LinkedIn. Subscribe to my Substack, the Saucetown Investor. That's the only thing I'll ask of you guys. And Instagram, Saucetown Properties is my company. But yeah, guys, thanks for having me on today.
Yeah, it was great.
Absolutely.
Deal Junkies, thanks for listening. Share this episode with somebody that you care about so that they'll start listening to and start buying deals. Right? All right. We love you guys. We'll see you next time.